Hey everybody. Today we're going to look at a game that was played 20, 30 years ago, two KGS 7 Dons. And I saved this game because it's an excellent example of a certain principle that very important at the higher levels. Basically, don't give away free profit. And we'll see it develop and we'll get it defined as we go. We'll be looking mostly at the white stones, and here we go. Okay, this was very popular back then. Notice white gives a little extra space since there's so many black stones around, doesn't want to get pinched hard. Time for white to settle, get out. Now, just before white gets out, white already knows, I don't want to come in here. Why? Yeah, I can live, but it's going to be very costly. It's a difficult thing to do, and it's going to cost more than just handing black the points. So since we're not coming in, we feel free to get a little bit of corner profit, a little kick, and now we get out. He didn't push from behind, he gets out. Okay. And here we have the first example of the principle, the purpose of this replay. White's alive. Black has a big moyo. Maybe it's time to do something about that. Well, white doesn't. What white does, white realizes that this black move is sente. Now, white can ignore and still be alive, but it's getting really horribly restrictive. White's going to end up with just 3 or 4 points. Black gets all the outside. It's just too costly. So white responds, regardless of the black wall. Okay, black comes out. Black wants to know if this move is sente, so he pushes. He wants to know how. Wants to make sure white's going to answer the way he should. White has 2 ways. White saves on the strong side. Now it's sente. Just in case you don't see it, we'll take a look at it. If white ignores, tari, ane. If this way, we see white's about to die, and black's getting a lot of free moves. And if this way, white can't get out, or at least black is clearly surrounding white. And I'm not saying there's no cuts, but so all this is great profit for black. So white says, nope, I'll come out. There's a little rule here about cutting that I'll go over. There's 2 cuts white might want to make. Notice that this cut, black's thick on both sides. Not good for white. While this cut, not so thick on the left side. So in this position, we know which cut we want to make, so we make it. If you look and you still don't know, then don't make either. Save it for later once you do know. Cut, defend, and now white is, again, very alive. Black has a monstrously large wall. The Q players at this point are looking at the board going, oh my God, I would never, black is so far ahead. But notice, this is black sente because of the cut and cut. We can't capture that cutting stone. It's a far, far too big. So white defends. So check out what white's been doing, not handing out free points, and how black's been getting a massive wall. And we're going to understand this in a minute. Sente, sente, finally gote. Okay, white has relatively small points on the right. Black has a big old wall, big moil. And many of you are looking going, wow, white is so far behind. Well, actually, white's ahead. So before we look at what makes me think white's ahead, let's just assume for a moment that white's ahead. Just by, it's like 2 points, 3 points. The importance of not, white never gave black any free stuff. Every point black has got, black had to earn on his own. Nothing for free. Important principle. Okay, now let's look at the counting. First, we have to recognize that black has an extra move on the board. So to make it equal, we need a compensation, equal number of stones on the board. So we either hand white the 8 points, that's the value of 1 point in the corner, 1 stone in the corner, or we give white that. That's the counting move, right? That's not where white's going to play next, but rather if white plays there, we see the basic value of a white move, 8 points. So we'll just give white the 8 points. Next, let's mark the actual territory black has. I'm marking the points, not where the stones go. So this means that the black stones, I'm now putting down the squares. That's where the black stones are. I'm not going to mark the black stones, but just so you see, I'm marking the territory. And you'll see territory I'm not marking. You can see that there's territory up there. On the bottom, I want triangles, not squares. Black has how many? Well, the 3-3's open. So let's say 5. Could be 6. Let's say 5. Anything else? Well, there's the wall. How do we count the wall? Well, the rule is 2 points per thickness. I'll start by marking it, and then we'll define why that is. Let's bring it this far. A little bit of question about the P15 row. Notice I'll put the square there. Where the square is, that's not black thickness. That's a black weakness. So around that weakness, we don't count as thickness. I would say it's the 4 unmarked spots aren't thick. It's a little bit intuitive. Someone might go, I'm going to give black another point there. Okay, it's approximate. So here's what we count. Well, what about, I'm putting triangles here. What about this area? Well, that is not in the least bit thickness. That's weakness. That's not black territory. We're not marking what black can get if he adds another move, but rather what he has. So you count that all up. Then you count white score plus the move plus Comey, white's ahead. So you can see why I think this is such a wonderful example of don't hand out free stuff. Let's talk about this 2 points per thickness. Some of you have heard about it. Some of you haven't. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Give me a minute to set this up. We can do it. Yeah, it's fine. Let's put that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now put on the white stones. Give me a second. Be patient. Here we go. Okay. This is not a board position. This is 4 independent things. Let's assume, like, for instance, on top, we're imagining an empty board, and that's all we're seeing is those top black and white stones. Same thing on the left, right, bottom, just independent of everything else, not a whole board position. Okay, so on the right, we ask It's a very obvious answer, but we ask anyway. Who has more profit on the right? White does. Black has 0 points per move. White's ahead. Now we move to the top. Who's ahead up there? White is. Black has 1 point per move. White has more than that. Okay. Now let's go over to the left. Who has more profit there? Well, black's getting 3 points per move. Black has more profit there. Now I know certain board positions, white's outside is worth hundreds of points or 0. But we're talking about normal boards, just how does one count thickness in general? Now we look at the bottom, which is the whole point of this example. Who has more profit? Well, let's call it even. For the last nearly 200 years, that's what everyone said, even. AI comes along and says, well, you know, maybe white has an advantage here. Granted, but basically equal. Okay. If it's equal and black is getting 2 points per move, then what's white's thickness worth? 2 points per thickness. Do you see the logic there? Now again, let's just make a little example. We change the board position. White's wall's worth nothing. Right, so we're talking about normal context. Okay, so back to our board. Now you know why I marked 6 points of thickness near black's wall. Above those 6 triangles, black's becoming weak. Below those triangles, black's becoming weak. Now we could add 2 more here. Again, kind of intuitive. You learn how to get a sense of this. What is that black wall worth? A little hard to say. Basically 6, 7, 8 points, somewhere in there. So now you see, let me pass. There we go. So on this board, white to play, white's 2, 3 points ahead. Hopefully that makes some sense. And you can also see why it's such a great example of don't get used. White spent all this time on the right, not letting black have the free profit, and black got a massive wall. But white's ahead. Pretty interesting stuff. Now I'm going to play out the game some more, even though the reason for the video is I think we're done with that. But you might want to see just how white, I won't go into any details, but we'll take a look at just quite how it happens. This is all pretty basic stuff. White runs out towards the Aji. Thank you. Black's a mistake. There's no reason to play there. He is only 7 down after all. Notice the entire left looks like white. So that's another reason why, since black focused on top and center, he didn't have any stones on the left and bottom. So white's getting a lot down there. Here's our Atari rule again. Remember, do it on the weak side. I'm going to try to not make too many comments here. White gets out, get out, get out, connect, out, and out. Oh, 1 cente, then out. Okay, white is finally stable on that group. And now you can get a good sense of, oh yeah, looks like white might be ahead. Exactly. Pretty interesting stuff. And now just scan through just so you can see some basic stuff. Oh, here comes a great idea. Check this out. Q players are going to play this way, right? Don't we want that bottom area all for ourselves in Sente? Well, I won't go into it, but no. I'm tempted. If I'm in that position, I am so tempted, but I know this white move is the right one. Let's just see why. Keep going here. Check out the left. I'm not saying black's dead, but black's looking pretty bad. As that group runs, white naturally captures these other 3 stones. I'm just walking through here, not doing a lot of look-see. Do you see the ko here? Cute little ko. I actually have someone in a dragon game played this ko on me just today. Really bothered me. Now, black can't say Atari this way because it just gets captured. And black can't say Atari this way because it just gets captured. So, real ko. This white save, no more ko. White is dead. Black is dead on the left. And now the bottom, black is near death. Very big. We capture those 3. Attack the group. We'll just see it happen here. This black group is nearly dead. One eye, but it's ko. Take away the life. Core threat to kill here. Core threat to kill. This is interesting. This leaves the question to black. Do you want to spend a whole move living, knowing there's a ko there, or I'll just take a big move in the corner, and if you're not careful, I'll kill that group? Great way of playing. That's a big move. Black's in jeopardy. I love that play. All this is Sente for white. And now that black group's alive. Now this black group is alive. White's getting profit in each case as he makes him live. And that's really the end of we're just in an end game now. No need to play it out. White wins by, I actually don't recall, I think it was 15 when all is said and done. Okay, I hope that was meaningful and maybe slightly entertaining. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you all later. Okay, bye.